Here's the mallet. I made it with laminated um, walnut and oak, and the handle here, which I'm still going to finish this bottom part here, but the handle is Peruvian walnut, and I've made these before, and I seem to have trouble, getting them to fit real well with the taper and everything, but this time I did a pretty good job. There's going to be small gaps. Nothing's going to be perfect like you think about it in your head, but for the most part, I think I did a pretty good job. When you laminate it, you really don't be too scared to use too much glue, because this thing is something that you're going to want forever, something you're going to want to last, and not putting enough glue on it can sure make you mad, especially if you got a good fit and you're starting to use it and it comes apart on you. So yeah, you definitely don't be too shy with your glue. Mine, I didn't laminate the handle, so if that were to happen and my glue joint comes apart or whatever the reason, I don't have to remake a handle. So that's one aspect of the project that I wanted to make sure and keep the glue out of. So all you do to get it back where you need it to be, and voila. All you need to use is the tools I used for this project are simple. Block plane, excuse me. Your spoke shave. Obviously, I started with a saw. Actually started with a bigger saw right there, and got my wood down to where I needed it to be. The basic size that I wanted. The head of my mallet is about 5.5 inches in length, about 3 3/4 inches tall, and 2.5 inches wide. So I got my oak down to the size that I needed it to be. Walnut, same thing, and then the handle, I just kind of made my own shape and just kind of went with it. What I thought felt good in my hand, and also had what looked all right. Maybe not the best design for you. Maybe you don't. Maybe it doesn't fit you or whatever. It fits my hand good, and I think it looks all right. So that's basically why we do things. I think, right? But yeah, got the that's where the handle slides in. Oh, excuse me. It kind of wedges itself in there. Not kind of, that's exactly what it does. But yeah, so I sawed it down, got it to where it milled it up to its size. Glued the walnut and the oak. Some guys, cut out holes on the inside of the walnut or whatever they use, and fill it with dirt or marbles or whatever, just to make it a little bit heavier or whatever. But I found that just this wood alone, gives me plenty of weight that I need to do anything that I've ever needed. I've never thought, hey, I wish this weighed more. I feel like this hardwood is dense enough that you don't need anything like that, and plus it just makes a noise and stuff when you're trying to swing, and I think that's annoying. So it's not for me. Maybe for somebody, maybe for one of you guys, you might rather do that, but I didn't find a need for it. I feel like that's just an extra step that I didn't need to take. So yep, got it. Anyways, so I got it glued up. After I waited on it to glue up, I waited about 12 hours. You want it to be good and dry for the most part before you start messing with it, planing it and whatnot. You don't want it to come apart on you, like obviously being impatient. But what I did, since I did this in one day, so basically whenever I was waiting on the glue to dry, that's when I that's when I cut my handle. Basically just got a piece of scrap wood. This is all scrap wood. Got a piece of scrap wood and kind of put some pencil lines on it where I thought that I wanted the shape to be, and cut it out. Basically, you know, on little curves, you see little curves like in the handle. What I found was the best way to do those is just to cut your straight line all the way down, you know, to get all the waste wood out, and then, you know, where it curves in like this, just take your saw, make a lot of cross cuts, just small to the depth that you want to curve into, and you know, just pare it out with a chisel, and that'll give you your curve pretty easy without having to, if you don't use a bandsaw. The length of my handle is about 12 3/4 inches. I've made one before with it was 14 inches, and that worked fine. This seemed to be fine for me for now for this project. So yeah, I've got that shaped. Obviously, to get your taper in here, you're gonna want to have your handle cut out at least to the depth of your mallet head. So you're gonna want to know that so that you can get your taper and measure it onto the center piece that you've got here, so that you can cut out the taper precisely to fit your handle. I almost forgot to tell you that. So back to the tools. You know, shape it. Got the saw, got it down to its rough, you know, rough dimensions. Glued it, then started shaping it with my block plane. Well, first of all, I kind of trued up the sides with my number 5 jack plane here. It's a Wood River jack plane. I love it. Put a hawk blade in it, and it just works wonderful for me. This isn't a sponsored video by any means. I'm just telling you what I like and what I use. And then once I got the rough finish on the mallet, then I put down the jack plane and picked up a block plane. You know, kind of cut some chamfers on the sides to give it a little bit of shape. And my spoke shave was mainly the majority tool that I used for shaping. I want to say this: the mallet head is cut. It's got a taper on these two, on the two ends. And what I did, I just basically no specific degree. I just took a bevel gauge and set it, and you know, whatever I thought looked good, then that's what I went with. And then basically, once I marked that side, I just flipped it over and marked it with the same bevel on the other side to give me my same tapered degree. And the top, it's kind of rounded over, just to give it a little bit of, a little bit more shape. The bottom is the only side that's flat, even though it doesn't look that way. I gave it a little bit of shape right here on these edges, so it makes it look like it's been rounded over, but it's flat. Really, you want to keep it that way. So, then I use my Japanese saw. That's what I use to rip my handle, down to get all the waste wood off of it. I find that those are really easy to use. The coarse side of this saw, I use it for ripping, and then the finer teeth I use for cross cuts, and it seems to work out real well. I've got these Western style saws. Veritas makes them. I've got a crosscut version, a rip version, and the dovetail saw. I really enjoy using those. They're great. They come sharp. I haven't had to sharpen them yet. owned them all for about 6 months. So, but yeah, that's basically, I mean, that's all the tools that I need or needed to complete this project. Other than oh yeah, uh, chisel, and that was to, you know, like I was telling you earlier, to pare out the waste from the handle whenever I was shaping those curves in it. So, but yeah, that's my that's how I came up with this mallet. I'm hoping that that it helps you. You know, I'm hoping I said something that, you know, might have gave you a different kind of idea. Maybe I said all the same things as another person that you've listened to. There's a million of these videos on YouTube about these mallets, but you know, hopefully I said something that benefits you, or you know, something that, you know, maybe I said quite a little bit different that made a bell go off for you to make it a little bit more simple. Probably not. I feel like, you know, it's my first video that I'm posting, so it's still kind of, you know, it's obviously new to me, so it's kind of awkward making videos, but, you know, it is what it is. It's life. It's like that for everybody. You know, nobody starts out professional, so, you know, practice. We all practice, and we get better at what we do. So, I'm not, you know, it is what it is. You know, the quality may not be that great, and you know, I may sound like I'm talking nervous or whatever, but, you know, it'll get better with time, you know, like all things. So, but I hope you guys got something out of this.